Hello everyone! Probably in every apartment building, there lives an adult and self-sufficient woman who has more than one cat. And of course, all the neighbors, including you, are incredibly happy about it, as the crowd of meowing cats in spring and the unique scents add emotions and beauty to everyone in the neighborhood. I thought that we can't forget such a meme-worthy character as the crazy cat lady. And so today's video will be about a crazy cat lady. Subscribe to the channel, give a like, and let's get started. Let's create the character. There will be a red-haired lady. As we know, cat lovers don't really enjoy going out. They prefer to sit in an armchair surrounded by their pets. Therefore, she will indeed be a plump little bun. Her clothing is practical and should not show fur too much. A green sweater and a long nude-colored skirt will suit her. What defines a cat lady is not her bright appearance, but the number of cats she has at home. Therefore, she is not the brightest girl we have. The goal of her entire life is her pets. She will be obsessed with cats. All she needs in life are cats. Cats and more cats, and preferably a lot of them. Character traits: aloof, finicky, and quirky. After all, only such people can have many cats. And our lady will be named Galina Vasechkina. We will also create 3 cats for her. The first cat is black and white in a wasp costume. The name is Asya. The second one is gray with beautiful blue eyes. Bobby, the orange cat, is Tim. I had one like that in my childhood with the same name. Right now I'm really more into dogs, but still, we'll settle her in the apartment with the cats right away along with the furniture. Let's not get distracted by the arrangement. I will just turn one room into a cat room. This is what her apartment looks like. A living room combined with the kitchen. This cute pink sofa will soon be torn apart by the home tigers. Let's add some cat accessories to the room. Instead of a children's room, as I understand, it will be her office and also a cat room with various houses for the cats. After moving into the apartment, the first thing Galina Vasechkina does is play with her fluffy friends, petting, cuddling, and playing with Lazarus. Suddenly, the doorbell rings, and the neighbors arrive, unaware of the surprise that has come to them. One of the neighbors brought a small but juicy cake. Although there wasn't enough space on the couch, the guests were not upset. Someone was standing there and they were chatting cheerfully until they learned about Galina Vasechkina's passion for cats. According to her, 3 cats are just the beginning. The evening stopped being dull. The guests vividly imagined the wonderful aromas that would soon fill the house, and many thought of the crazy cat lady from The Simpsons. The conversation escalated into a scandal, and she even got into a fight with one of the guests. On this wonderful note, Galina Vasechkina showed her guests to the door. She couldn't calm down for a long time, and for her own well-being, as well as to annoy her neighbors, she bought another cat. Perhaps the neighbor with the cake planned to remove the cat lady, as our Galina Vasechkina became ill from the cake. After she was brought a cat, her well-being improved dramatically, and as if by magic, her illness disappeared. This is what a life-giving cat can do. I should definitely find a job. She chooses a career as a secret agent. Why a secret agent? After all, it's unlikely that you would suspect a woman with a bunch of cats of espionage, unless her spying is related to the prices of whiskas. Before the first working day, I need to prepare. I should check the intelligence database and like some cats. And me. For some reason, communication with the neighbors hasn't gone well. Apparently, they just don't like animals. Our heroine decides to go out and relax in the park. In the park, she wasn't just sitting on a bench, she was playing chess. With a smart person? Playing by herself? E2, E4, oh, checkmate. While she was playing by herself, a handsome young man sat down next to her. He was a crook and deceived her. And apparently he did not love cats. Then there was another guy whose feet smelled, and she kicked him out because the kitties don't like such aromas. Then another one. She also had some issues with him. And finally, after an unsuccessful walk, she decides that she needs to sort out her thoughts. And what could be better for the nerves? That's right, we need to get another cat. Suddenly, the neighbor calls and asks for $1,000 for a business. Galina Vasechkina, although she couldn't find common ground with her, decided to take her in. It's important to connect, but this made her upset. And to cover up the loss of money, she needed to get another cat. And to hide the loss of money, one more kitten needs to be taken. The neighbor calls again and says that she still lacks funds for her business. Oh, it seems another cat is on the way. While she was choosing a cat, she couldn't resist and took 3 at once to cope with future stresses. At work, she is like a top-notch scout receiving a promotion. He could be in this very room, he could be you, he could be me. The promotion needs to be celebrated, and as a strong and independent person, she decides to celebrate the occasion with her cats. Our Galina is slightly out of her mind, so when she cooks, she behaves very strangely. How wonderful life is when there is delicious food and beloved cats. She decides to unwind and goes to a bar where she meets a wonderful, handsome young man with whom she seems to find common ground. After the bar, they lay in the snow and looked at the clouds. Interestingly, at that moment, he did not sense that the scent of cats was mingling with her perfume. In the bar where she was, there was a karaoke contest, and she decides to participate. Unfortunately, she scores only 46 points out of 100. There is a chance of winning, of course, but it is not very high. After chatting with her new friend, she waited for the announcement of the results. She did not win. She urgently needs to relieve her stress. Only new cats can indeed help her. She finishes her cocktail and heads home, where she orders 3 more fluffy little angels. Galina cannot stop. She always wants more and more. Her neighbor keeps shaking her down for money, but Taya cannot refuse. The number of cats keeps increasing. She goes to bed, and as soon as she falls asleep, the whole house freezes, and everyone sleeps peacefully. While Galina is at work, the cats do whatever they want. Some are sleeping, some are playing. One messes around, another runs, yet another sharpens its claws. Cats differ. Some sleep in the cat house, others lounge like kings on the couch. But when Galina arrives, all these furry, affectionate little balls greet her. This gives her life, meaning, and fulfillment. That's why she loves cats. After work, she decides to go meet her friend, but she behaves very strangely there. She is an overall strange woman. I wonder if something could happen between her and him, or is he too perfect for her? She decides to have a cocktail, then another one, and after that she becomes even more foolish. I think she made him angry. Before leaving the club, she decides to take the gifts from Father Frost. She and the cats definitely need it more. After such a stressful evening, she urgently needs to improve her mental health. So she takes the well-trodden path and brings home a couple more fluffy ones. The last cocktail she drank at the club was clearly too much, and she feels nauseous. However, this does not embarrass our heroine at all. Having washed poorly, she walks around the house looking like this, but she feels good and calm. She has new cats, and the foam on her hands is just trivial. The cats have always been by her side, and with them, she did not feel the emptiness inside. It was always good with them. A day passed, then another and a third, and the number of cats only increased. They multiplied, and she picked up stray animals. Of course, sometimes Galina behaves a bit strangely, talks to herself, makes faces, squints, or she sees something more than all of us. Or is she slightly not quite right in her own head? She decides to create an Instagram account, surely to post selfies and photos in a swimsuit. Of course not. Instagram is exclusively for cats, and at work there's another promotion. Our heroine is a clear example that intelligence is not the main helper in a successful career. Folly and courage, that is the motto of a true careerist. She decides to celebrate this event at a bar. The evening was fabulous. She even met a handsome man and wanted to flirt with him, but her spy instinct suddenly kicked in and she simply put him to sleep, although maybe he was drunk and just fell asleep. By the way, did you notice who the bartender is? The bartender here is Nina, a girl from the previous episode. After the first guy, there was a second one, but he apparently caught a whiff of the cats, saw her terrible contraceptive skirt, sobered up, and ran away from our beauty. But she wasn't upset, as her kitties were waiting for her at home. Why does she need a man when there are cats to sleep beside her? But when another cat is brought to her, she decides to get to know the man who brought her the cats. This man loves cats, and perhaps she will be able to find common ground with him. At first glance, everything seems to be going well, but she suddenly notices that one of the cats has fallen ill. Its eyes are festering, and it has suddenly become infested with fleas. Galia urgently heads to the veterinary clinic, interrupting her conversation with the man. She makes an appointment, then has a long wait for the doctor. While she waits, why not talk to an intelligent person? And, in the good old tradition, she talks to herself. The wait was agonizingly long. The poor animals that were there were waiting for help. It turned out that the veterinary clinic is closed on weekends, and she, as a loving owner, spent the entire weekend there with her little cat, waiting for the doctor, forgetting that there is still a whole bunch of cats at home. And it probably wouldn't hurt to feed them, but in the cats, she probably sees people and thinks that if they are not sick, they will find something to snack on themselves. 3 days have passed waiting for the doctor. Apparently, the clinic is closed. To improve the home atmosphere, she decides to adopt another kitten from the shelter. But they know her well there and no longer give out cats. They say, "You already have too many." But Galia knows there is a way out, and she starts breeding cats herself. Cats are her obsession. When the shelter no longer allows her to adopt more, she, like a true spy, watches families with many cats, observes when the owners are away on business, and then commits a crime by stealing a furry friend. So far, she has only managed to steal 1 cat. It's not much and it's sad, but when she got home, she found out that the number of cats had naturally increased, and one of the cats had given birth to 2 kittens. This news will indeed make Galia happy, and even her dismissal for disclosing confidential information did not affect her good mood. She has cats, and the cats have her, and that is the main thing. Galia takes out a large loan and buys a veterinary clinic for her cats, where she can treat her kitties herself. She becomes so really focused on her cats that she stops noticing people. And even when she invites the man who brought her the cats on a date, he doesn't show up, as if he doesn't exist. In the bar, she entertains herself, makes herself some claws, and has fun, but still notices some oddness. There are no people around. It feels like there is only her and the cats in the world. The cats are now breeding on an almost industrial scale, and since the purchase of the clinic and her time spent at the bar, 4 more kittens have come into the world. She even named one after her favorite book character, Harry Potter. Soon, 2 more small beautiful kittens were born. She prepares meals for them and buys an automatic feeder for the cats. Her love knows no bounds. But one day, her pet runs away. She writes a lost pet notice and anxiously waits for its return. She cannot find her place. She tries to distract herself, but it doesn't work. A whole month passes, and the cat is still not found, leading her to come up with a crazy idea, to go on vacation with her cats. Unfortunately, she can't take them all, so she brings along a few, just 7 little cats. The vacation takes place in the tropics. She goes to the jungle, rents a cabin for a couple of days, and relaxes there with her cats. I can imagine how shocked the cats were to find themselves in the jungle instead of an apartment, where almost anyone could eat them. But in reality, Galia doesn't care about the cats. She only cares about herself. Otherwise, how can one explain such a strange vacation spot? Although, perhaps by this point, her mind has long since left its place, and in her head there is only wind and kittens. Dima Torzok made the subtitles. She is grilling sausages over coals and feeding them to her cats. Since she is in the tropics, for the first time in a long while, she put on a swimsuit. And as it suddenly turned out, her ancestors were clearly yetis. How else can one explain such luxurious hair on her body? She needs depilation. But since her world consists only of her and the cats, she'll have to shave herself. Although, what is there to hope for, really? On vacation, she reads a lot, and in the local cafe, which, again, had not a single living soul, she discovers her love for playing the guitar and tosses a coin into the fountain to return to this place. It's a pity that her cats apparently don't like this vacation. They are bothering her, meowing all the time and not letting her sleep. She decides to return home. Upon her arrival, the missing cat has just come back. There are no people left in the world besides her. Who will feed him? The truth is, he was all infested with fleas and sick, and she had to take him to her veterinarian. Then she unexpectedly meets a man online, which hints to us that there are people who are not just for her. And so, the heroine's mind has long been slightly out of order, It seems they found a common language, but there is one catch. He presented her with a choice, either him or her cats. After all, she doesn't really know him, but she has known her cats for a long time, and with such simple logic she decides that stability and her cats are better. Besides, who would want her with such a brood of cats? It was her birthday and she celebrated it with her cats. Her home turned into a dump with cat litter everywhere. The cats breed and mark their territory, and the smell can possibly be sensed even through the screen. She loved the cats. But she also loved cleanliness. With each passing day, all this dirt irritated her more and more. The desire for cleanliness and order clashed with her love for cats. She was slowly losing her mind, neglecting her business and isolating herself at home, going nowhere. With each passing day, she lost her sanity more and more. Nothing helped her relax and regain her composure. Galia absolutely couldn't keep up with her cats. They were behaving terribly. Dirt, fur, urine, and feces. The cats even sleep on top of the refrigerator. She couldn't even dream of eating peacefully. They climbed right into her plate. With each passing minute, her mind was becoming more and more lost, shattering into pieces. She has already forgotten how to talk to people. After all, she only spoke to herself and to the cats. Some of her cats begin to fall ill, but she no longer pays any attention to it. Chaos reigns at home. The cats even start fighting among themselves. The sound of cat wailing is everywhere. She loses control over herself, urinates on herself, stops washing, and walks around smelling terrible. The cats drink from the puddles that she herself has made. The kitties continue to multiply. Her furniture is ruined, scratched, and covered in fur. She starts writing all sorts of nonsense on the internet, but she can't gather her thoughts and ends up writing incomprehensible drivel. She feels so unwell that she is now sleeping on the floor. Another cat is giving birth again, supported by her male cat, who lies beside her. At a time when Galia cannot be around, 2 more black and white kittens are born, all resembling their mother. She discovers that some cat is pooping gold. Whether this is a hallucination or reality remains a mystery. Another cat gives birth to 2 white kittens. The number of cats keeps increasing. Galia continues to lose her mind. She stops eating as she can no longer separate food from fur and feces. And then hunger leads to her death. Her head is spinning. She loses consciousness. All the cats gather around her. They are worried about their owner, but for some reason, the cats cannot call an ambulance. In the world of The Sims, death comes for everyone, but not for Galia. Her corpse remains lying in the apartment filled with 31 cats. And here is the riddle. When exactly will the kitties become so hungry that hunger will drive them to eat their owner? Remember that no animal can replace human communication. And if Galia had friends, relatives, or a loved one, her fate would likely not be so sad. That's all. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave your comment. Bye bye.